Hi, this is Chuck from Happy Hollow Farm. You have the B team in here today, not the pretty Kate. It's a rainy day here on the mountain in East Tennessee, which is good for growing things. You know, over the last few years, from time to time, we get feedback from people wanting to know why we talk about leather the way that we do. And we want to go into a little bit of detail today to try to help people understand how to purchase good leather products, whether it's from us or anybody else. Leather is an anciently used material. It's been around as long as human beings have been or close to it. It's a byproduct of the process of us consuming animals. And we want people to understand what leather really is and what it is not. Leather is not automatically made. It has to be processed in some way. And we want to know, or people want to know, why we do what we do and how we do it. Leather really has three states. There's three parts to a hide that comes off of a cow, which is the byproduct of the meat industry. We intentionally use cow leather like that because we don't want to take an animal just for its skin. So because a cow is being used for beef, those hides are collected and they're sold to tanneries. And when a tannery buys them, they're graded by the tannery and by the meat industry by the quality of or lack of artifacts in the hide. Normally there are number 1, 2, or 3, with 1 being the best. Occasionally you'll see something that says TR, meaning tannery run, what they have. Once a hide is graded, that grade relates to the number of artifacts they're called in the hide. Like a bug bite, or ran into a fence, or got kicked by another animal, or grew rapidly and had a fat line. The fewer artifacts means a number 1. We only use number 1 hides. Once you have a hide, then how a hide becomes leather is a process called tanning. There's basically only 2 methods to it. So you have the outside of the hide is called full grain. Then right below that is top grain, and below that is genuine leather. There is no other kind of leather. So you see a lot of words this way or that way. That's not accurate. The full grain is the best part of the hide because the fibers in that part of the hide are the most dense. Then a little bit less in top grain and a little bit less in genuine leather. And there's a marked difference in the quality of the hide as you go down each level. Once you take a hide and you're going to turn it into leather, it has to be tan, which is shorthand for removing the flesh and the hair from the hide and binding those fibers that are inside the hide, making a usable product leather. There's only 2 methods of doing that. There's chemical tanning and there's vegetable tanning. If you've ever been out in the woods where you had a slow-moving creek and you see the sort of a brownish cast of the creek, that's because the trees and the leaves that fall into the creek, they have natural tannins in them. So vegetable tanning is an eco-friendly process that uses natural tannins in the tree bark and plants to complete this process inside of a hide. The chemical tanning process typically uses chromium hexavalent, chromium 4. People use it because it's faster. That's the main reason. You can do it in about a day, 24 hours, maybe a little longer. Vegetable tanning takes 14 days. That's just the process of removing the hair and the flesh and having those tannins bind to the fibers inside of the hide. The vegetable tanning process, moving slower, allows a deeper penetration, so it creates better leather. It's going to be more attractive, it's going to be stronger, it's going to look better. We source our hides from Wickett Craig in Pennsylvania. They only make vegetable tan leather, and they've been in business since 1867. We attempt to get the best materials we can for the products that we make. We try to keep our overhead low so that you can have a high quality leather product made by artisans, our family. You can compare it to anything on the market. The ties that we have, about 21 colors that we supply, we build to order, which means that we don't build an inventory because it adds to your cost and it reduces the options that a customer may have. But of those 21 colors, they break down into 3 groups. There's matte, which is called bridal, and it has more of a softer, consistent finish. There's harness, which has a lot more luster. If you look at this leather here, this is harness. You'll see there's gradient colors in the hide. And then there's mill, which has a pebbled finish. And they're all tanned the same way. Then they're dyed with one of these colors I mentioned, and then they're finished. So if it's harness, for example, it's going to have more wax in it and more beef tallow to create that luster. If it's mill, it's going to run through a different process. It softens the hide and creates a pebbled finish on it. As I mentioned, we get our hides from Wickett Craig because, like us, they're interested in relationships. They have worked for some of the largest designer brands on the planet, but basically want to work with people that are doing things the proper way and building other products. If you look here, this is the side of the hide. And this turns into, this is a medium backpack. And this is harness medium brown. And it has 2 zippers on it, one to open at the top and one in its back pocket. Again, like the leather we use, all the hardware that we use is premium. This zipper here is made by Wickett Craig in Japan, and this is a new upper-end zipper brand they have called accessory. The teeth are individually polished. I know that sounds a little frivolous, but it's not. It just works better. And you notice the hardware that we use is solid brass. And we try to put a lot of features, like Kate told you last week. We have a multi-step process for finishing the edges because we think it's important. And this is one of our purses. It uses this uses the same zipper, plus it uses this solid brass zipper. And here is one of our newest designs. This is called a journal cover. And this is a new piece of hardware we're using. It's a different kind of lock that we really like. This is called harness burgundy. And then you'll see here, this is big enough to hold papers and other things. And a lot of people are really into journaling. This is what we normally supply, but we've tested it with all these upper end inserts you can put in there. This is called an A6 or field notes, a smaller version, combination, carry a passport or use it as a wallet. And we suggest you take care of the leather you get from us. We like these people. We provide this, but there's plenty of others on the marketplace.
What's the name of it, though? You can't see it in the camera.
I'm sorry, this is Smith's Leather Bar. Interesting story about them. They've been around for several years up in Maine. The man was out hunting one day, came back, and his boots were just totally messed up. And he goes to put some chemicals on his boots, and his wife caught him and said, "You can't do that, it's going to destroy your boots and maybe hurt your hands." Wait a minute. So she whipped up 3 ingredients, and that's what's in this. It's totally organic, just like the leather that we use. You can take the water that the tannery uses to tan these hides and put it directly into a creek because it's safe. If you have any questions, get a hold of us. We'd be glad to help you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you being there.
Goodbye, everybody. Y'all have a good day.